Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the June Keys Penguin Habitat. My name is Susan. This is Michelle. Both of us are part of the husbandry team here at the aquarium. Today we're working in part with our penguin population here at the aquarium. I was in Laura Keats and our animal ambassador area today, and Michelle here is actually one of our assistant curators. So she was in the ever-changing office, woohoo, today working on projects, and then gets to spend her fun time, as we like to call it, with our animals, observing them, making sure everyone looks good, which we'll talk about right now what actually is looking good, feeding them, and then of course, as she's doing now, picking scales off her hands, which we have to do every day. And this penguin is preening me and it's tickling. So hold on a second. So let's go back to looking good. You may notice that we have some different looking birds. We have one over here that's looking a little rough. The one right in front of Michelle looking a little rough. The one that's tickling my leg over here, Skipper, is looking a little rough and rough. Yeah, there's a lot of rough-looking birds right now. What's happening is they are molting. They go through what's called a catastrophic molt, where basically they lose all of their waterproof feathers and grow in new feathers. So if we're taking a look at the one right in front of Michelle, you'll notice that his head feathers are still there, but they're very separated. You can kind of see the individual ones, and they're slightly crunchy as well. They're not soft. And those are the ones that he still has to lose, as well as the ones on his flippers. Even though they look very, very smooth and it kind of looks like fur sometimes, they actually have feathers all over their bodies and in about a quarter. So if you were to take a quarter and put it on their body, they have about 75 feathers just in that quarter size. So they have lots and lots of feathers, but where they live in the water is about 50 to 60 degrees. So they definitely have to have a lot of feathers to keep waterproof and to keep warm. So what a lot of our birds are doing now is going through a molt where they lose all their waterproof feathers. You can see again this one in front of Michelle that it's nice and I'm going to say fuzzy looking, but it is their down feathers that helps keep them warm. And then once he loses all of his waterproof feathers, or his black and white feathers, then he will grow in new black and white feathers and look as pretty as, oh, the penguin on your lap. I'm like, where? Ta-da! So the one that Michelle is hanging out with right now is basically we're doing some bonding with them. So we're just basically kind of hands-on. So just in case we ever have to get them for a medical procedure, which includes our yearly checkups with these guys, or we just want to get a closer look at their beak or their eyes or their feet or anything, then we can have hands-on on them. So which is great, again, when we have to do those yearly checkups as well. So we want to make sure that we can handle them or be around them, that they're not afraid of us and things like that, to make sure that we can always keep hands on them and be able to handle them to the best of our ability, and of course let them and have them let us touch them and manipulate and do everything to them to keep that bond. We have 20 penguins in here currently. We do have 3 in the back area. Those are our chicks. They're coming out at different times scheduled, just because they're getting used to being in a much larger pool and to being around the adults. In the colonies where they are out in nature, for these guys, they're huge spans of area, and the parents can kind of circle around their chicks and keep them from other parents that may not appreciate their chicks as much. And here, though, if you notice, it's very sloping down, and because of that, we want to make sure that the chicks stay safe, that the other adult penguins don't chase them into the water if they're not ready for it. So we have been doing, I know we've done one swimming lesson here to see how they do in the pool, and they did really well, and we're hoping to have them out on exhibit. Are we thinking a couple more weeks, Michelle? For a while? Okay. Oh, hold on. We have a penguin on my leg. Woohoo! He was nibbling at my shorts and got some skin. In a little bit, again, just to make sure everything is 100%, that all their waterproof feathers grow before we put them out here for longer periods of time. Okay, great. Now Michelle is feeding him. And what did we ever get? Good. So what I was questioning Michelle about and what she was letting me know about is how many fish she's giving each of these penguins. Right before they molt, they eat a lot more fish, and it's much easier for me to keep tallies of every single fish that they eat than Michelle keep it in her head for 20 different penguins. So I come out here and she hollers names and what they eat, and I write it down. And if other birds come up, she'll keep feeding them basically until all of them just don't want any more food. They may be coming to that in a little bit, but we'll be out here for a few more minutes seeing if any of them want any more food before we head in for the night.